All right, so the real estate market is absolutely exploding right now. There's huge demand for housing. We're millions of houses short because over the last 10 years, builders have been slow to build. Now we have a huge demand for housing and the supply is very little. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to build a house on a raw piece of vacant land. All right, so first I'm gonna talk to you about how to figure out if the land is actually buildable. Then I'm gonna show you the steps in building the house on the raw land. And by the end of this video, you're gonna feel way more confident of building a house on a piece of raw land. All right, is the land buildable? The first place I'm gonna talk to you about going to is your planning and zoning, and then your regional building department. First, planning and zoning. Planning and zoning is where you check to see, like, okay, what can be built here? What's allowed to be built here? What's the setbacks? Like, how many feet does the house have to be away from the property line? And then I want you to talk to regional building, and I want you to tell them your plans of what you're looking to do, and they'll help you walk you through the steps of what to take, what to do next. You know, whether you need to get a survey, which I highly, highly recommend getting a survey of your land once you know it's buildable, because you want to know those setbacks. You want to know where your corners are at of your property, because you don't want to dig your septic system on the neighbor's lot, or, you know, dig your well on the neighbor's lot. That's very important to know. It sounds basic, but a lot of people make this crazy mistake. Then I want you to think about utilities. Like, how are we going to get electric? Is there electric close by? Or can you see power lines? Can you see the transformers, those things that blow up during hurricanes? Are these anywhere close by, or would you be bringing power lines in? This could be very, very expensive depending on how far the land is away from the actual other houses or the actual electric. Next is water. How are you going to get the water? Is the water going to come from well? Like, for instance, Colorado, you need a certain amount of area to dig a well. Or is it going to be community water or public water? Or is it going to be actually ran from the municipality? You want to know these things. And then let's talk about septic system or your sewer line. You know, in neighborhoods, generally you have a sewer line running by, but is the sewer line in front of the house, behind it? Is it close by? Or are you going to have to put a septic system in your property? Now, again, in Colorado, you need at least 1 acre to build a septic system. And then they actually have to test the soil to see if it needs to be engineered. If it's too rocky, a septic system could literally cost you almost $40,000 because it's got to be engineered in a certain way. So you want to know all these things and almost line it all up before you make that mistake of thinking a piece of land is buildable that's actually not buildable. And next is a soil test. Generally, your engineer that creates your building plans is going to walk you through getting a soil test. A lot of times they might call it a soil bore or a bore hole. Basically, all they're doing is taking a mini excavator and digging a hole and actually taking a soil sample to see, is the soil percolating? Is the water draining down? Do you need to bring in fill dirt? Do you need to take out some dirt? You know, depending on the soil type and depending on the area or the region, you need to know what the soil looks like. You know, Florida, it's really easy. Like, we just bring in sand, we bring it in, we compact it, and then we put a slab on grade. Colorado's a little bit different. You need like something called a basement or a crawl space. We don't generally put slab on grade in Colorado to build a house. All right, so you figured out the land is buildable, you figured out about the septic or the sewer, the water, the electric. Now let's think about gas. How are we gonna heat this house? Are we gonna use gas? Are we gonna use electric? And we wanna start planning these things and getting it in place. So the first thing I recommend is getting electric on site after you've done your survey and your soil sample, because the contractor is going to want electric. They're going to need a temporary pole. And a lot of times the electric company will charge you for this temporary service. But electric is very important because you want your trades, you want your contractors to be able to plug into something to use their machines. And then next is gas. Start lining this up, whether it be propane or natural gas from the actual gas company. My first build, I actually made this mistake, and we didn't have the gas until after the modular home that we had ordered had been sitting there for months. They couldn't finish doing the paint or the marrying of the two modulars together because the joint compound couldn't dry because it was too cold. We didn't have gas for the heat. So this actually delayed me by 3 months, and it cost me a lot of money by not knowing this little simple trick of gas. Like, we actually thought we were gonna get a propane tank, but we found out there was natural gas in the area and we were required to run the line. And there was a lot of inspections that had to be done properly. I had to dig a trench hole. It was just, you name it, regulation after step, after building code. It was aggravating. And ultimately, I could have avoided this if I would have had a good general contractor in place. But my general contractor, a lot of things went on with that. But find the right person the first time. Not like me, I had to go through a couple on the first build. All right, so now time to build. We now need to start thinking about the foundation. What are we gonna do? Slab on grade? Are we gonna do a basement? Are we gonna do a crawl space? I generally like doing crawl spaces because they're way more affordable. Out in Colorado or the Midwest, now Florida is simple, it's slab on grade. You build a foundation, you build the dirt up, you compact it, you put the footers, you pour the concrete, and you're good to go. But Colorado's a little bit different. Like, is it wintertime? Is there permafrost on the ground? Can we even dig? You know, all these things that it takes to build a foundation. And a lot of people, when they're building a new house or either a modular or a manufactured, it doesn't take much of a foundation. A modular takes more of a foundation. A stick-built home takes more of a foundation, and so does a concrete block system or concrete block structure. But people don't account for the price of their foundation, and that is huge sometimes. And it could be anywhere from $14,000 to $25,000 just for a foundation that's not a basement. All right, so time to throw up the walls. Is this gonna be a CBS home? Is it gonna be a wood structure frame home or stick built? Or you're gonna take the easy route like I like to do and haul in a modular that's already done. I love modulars because they're built in the factory. They're built in a conditioned environment. Your materials aren't exposed to the elements of the wintertime, all these things. It's just way more easy and it's just way more manageable. All right, time to move to the interior. But before I do, I want you to comment below if you've ever built on a piece of land and where. Like, do these two things and also subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'm always talking about building houses, how to find raw land to build houses on, and I'm gonna give you even more tips, but definitely subscribe to this channel. All right, and let's talk about the interior. Now that you've got the electric and the gas and the water and the septic system, you can't forget all the exterior, but the interior now is the fun part. This is where you get to actually design the bathroom and the kitchen and the paint and all these cool things to where we make this home, turn this property, this house on a piece of raw vacant land into a home that you can enjoy. All right, check out the link. I actually include one of the projects I'm actually currently working on right now. I talk a lot about Colorado. This is a project that I'm actually doing. It's already sold. We closed January 28th. And we're not even done building it. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed those pictures of the building process. I show you the plans that we're using, the architectural drawings, and also a live picture of the actual house before it's even painted. So, hey, if you're interested in finding land that you can actually build on yourself, head on over to vacantlandofthefree.com or getland.org. These are my websites. This is some of the land that I purchased to be able to sell to other people, and I offer payments. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you subscribed.